Hello everyone, War here, and welcome to my build guide for my fake dual-wield blade Flurry Duelist. This is a really powerful character, will pretty much wreck everything, have very high damage and decent survivability and good clear speed. So I'm gonna go over my passive skill tree, my gear and gems, and if you have any questions feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's get started. So let's start by taking a look at my passive skill tree. I'm starting as a duelist. I went for attack speed in the beginning and the physical damage, and then I went for more of the physical attack damage, went for armor, evasion and life, and I'm going to take this note when I level up more. I'm going to have a level 100 passive skill tree in the description. I took most of the arena, bravery, art of a gladiator, leverage in this whole nice dual wheel here. I went for a Yule socket here, and in all of my Yule sockets I have additional chance to block, and I have either attack speed or I have physical damage or a combination of both. I have Golem's blood, and again I'm going to take this life note here. I went down for the big dual wheel, and I also have cloak and chain. I have blade barrier and amber dexterity. If you have a lot of evasion gear on you, you can take iron reflexes if you need. So if you're using some evasion gear, I'm recommending iron reflexes. I went for vitality void, which are my main way to getting back life. And I also have spirit void, and I'm gonna come back to this one when I talk about the gear later. I have this note here. I only have this note here because I needed one more point in intelligence. And if you have enough intelligence, you don't need this one. Just take this one if you really need intelligence and can't get enough in the gear. But you should be able to get everything you need in gear, and I'm going to drop this note if I get better gear. I have twin terrors and I have thick skin. Moving on. I went this way here. I went up here. Again, another Yule socket. This one gave me attack speed and again, one additional chance to block. I have Durality and Berserking, and I have taken this whole life wheel here, and I have taken Path to Warrior. I went to the Marauder area. I have taken this one here, and I'm going to take this one, and this one, and this one. And I have Diamond Skin. If you have a lot of resistance on your gear, you don't need to take this one. I have taken this one to ease out on my gear, to ease out on my resistance. And I'm also recommending Armor Mastery, which I'm probably going to take as well. And I went for Strong Aim. I went for Barbarism. I have another Yule socket here. Again, one additional chance to block. Some melee damage, increased physical attack, physical weapon damage when dual wielding. And I also have Jaggernaut. And I went up for Disembowering, this whole nice crit and crit wheel here. And that's pretty much my passive skill tree. And I almost forgot, I have Iron Unwavering Stance, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this one in the gear as well. For my Ascendancy skill tree, unfortunately I haven't found all of the trials, so I haven't been able to ascend the 4th time. But as soon as I get the last trial, I will do it. And but I've taken Painforged, Violent Combatant, and I have Gladiator's Violence. For the 4th time I ascend, either I taking Violent Resolution, or I take Blood in the Eye. I don't really like Outmatch and Outlast because it's a little bit nicky. Well, you're getting French charges when you kill with your main hand, and you're only killing with your main hand. But I'm considering things like Blood in the Eye or Violent Resolution to be a lot better choices in this one, because it isn't that good against bosses with few adds. But it is still good, and you can take it if you want, but I'm actually recommending either Violent Resolution or Blood in the Eye. So that's pretty much my passive skill tree. And by the way, you can do this character as a champion, and it will work, and it will be powerful as well. I went for the Gladiator for the little bit additional block chance and a little bit more protection. So let's take a look at my gear. I'm gonna start with my weapons. I'm using this claw here, which are a really good claw. It increases my crit chance, it have good physical damage, it have good attacks per second. So that's what you want for your weapon. You want a weapon with high physical damage, high crit chance, and good attack speed. And you can basically use 3 types of weapons for this build. You can either use a claw like this, you can use a dagger, or you can use a sword. And they're all good in their own right. Claws give you life back when you're hitting enemies. Frosting swords give you critical strike multiplier. And daggers have a better crit chance than the other ones. So they're all good options. Just try to get one, a dagger, sword or a claw with good physical damage, good crit chance and good attack speed, and you will be good to go. For my offhand I'm using a Death's Hand, which have 30% chance to give you a power charge when you stun something, and you gain Unholy Might for 2 seconds when you critical strike something. And I always crit something, so I pretty much always have Unholy Might. And I'm giving a lot of stuns to enemies, so I pretty much always have maxed out the power charges. But there are some other options to this one. You can use the Bright Beak, another really good mace. It have a lot of attack speed, and it also gives you resistance, which are really nice. And there are another weapon. You can also use Soul Taker, which remove your need for mana. So if you're using Soul Taker, you don't need Spirit Void or Mana Leech, because you don't need mana anymore. So you can just take away these 2 nodes here and put in something more useful like life or damage. For my helmet I'm using Abyssus, which give me a good amount of flat physical damage and a gigantic amount of melee critical strike multiplier. And this is a helmet that allows me to have this really high DPS. But it have one massive drawback. It increases the physical damage you take, so you should always be careful against physical damage. For my rings and amulets, I try to get some accuracy, life and the resistance you might need. And if you can, try to get some flat physical damage as well. For my gloves, I'm using Malagar's Virtue, which are not expensive at all and they are pretty cheap to get. And I'm using them for the crit chance and for the critical strike multiplier. And the dexterity actually helps. It means that you have a little bit more accuracy, and it helps out by using some of your dexterity depending gear easier. For my belt I'm using a highly defensive belt. The best thing you can use would be to use a rustic stash, but I want to use this belt instead because it gives me armor, it gives me a good amount of life, and it gives me the resistance I need. For boots, just some regular boots. Try to get some movement speed, the resistance you need, as good armor as you can afford, and as good life as you can get. For my armor, I used to have these 6-linked armor, which are quite expensive. If you can't afford a 6-linked armor, you can use a 5-linked armor instead, and get as high armor as you can, and get the resistance you might need, and try to get as good life as you possibly can afford to. And that's pretty much my gear. For flask, just using some Eternal Flask with a Surgeon Flask, increased recovery speed flask, I'm using a Serious Promise, I'm using a Basalt Flask, and I have a Quicksilver Flask. If you have any questions about my gear, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I'm going to have a link in the description to where you can find my gear. So let's take a look at my skill gems and support gems. Blade Flurry are supported by added fire damage, increased critical strike damage, melee physical damage, increased critical strikes, and faster attacks. If you don't have 6-linked, just take away increased critical strike damage. For the auras I'm using Arctic Armor, Herald of Ash, and Hatred. I do not have all of them activated at the same time if I not have Soul Taker. And I'm usually using Herald of Ash and Hatred, but when I need more protection, I'm using Arctic Armor. My movement skill setup are Whirling Blades with Fortify and faster attacks. If you're using a sword, you can even use Leap Slam. I also have a Riposte and Vengeance setup, and they are both linked to melee physical damage and increased critical strike. And finally, my cost and damage taken setups. My level 1 cost and damage taken are supporting Arctic Breath, Wallow's Mark, and Greater Multiple Projectiles. My level 4 cost and damage taken are supporting Increased Duration and Immortal Call. And finally, for the bandits, I helped and killed. In normal, I helped Oak to get 40 base life. In cruel, you can help either Oak or Kratin to get physical damage or attack speed. and in Merciless I just killed all of them and took the passive skill point. And I thank you all for watching my build guide, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm going to have a link in the description to where you can find my passive skill tree and my gear and gems I'm using. I hope you guys like it, and thank you all for watching.